world. My name is Max Stein, and I love the Ninja Turtles.
Hey, you punks. I'm Casey the Megabuck, and I love the Ninja Turtles.
I'm Raph, and I think the Ninja Turtles are gnarly.
And welcome to the Game Treasure Podcast, where we talk treasured video games of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Today, we're going to be talking about some of our most treasured video games, specifically games only revolving around those green-skinned, hard-shelled, butt-kicking superheroes we call the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's right, it's National Pizza Day. And how else can you celebrate National Pizza Day without some Ninja Turtles?
The 40-year anniversary. 40 years old. The Ninja Turtles are 40 years old.
Holy shit. For real?
The Ninja Turtles.
Faux real.
Wow.
We watched, before we get into the episode. Yeah, we're eating pizza on the podcast. Just a little bit. We're just one bite to show you we're dedicated to National Pizza Day and the Ninja Turtles.
Hey,
What about my shirt? This is my favorite Ninja Turtle shirt.
Look. Yeah, you better go on YouTube.
Fellow chucker, eh?
And check out our awesome shirts. Oh man, we're not a Ninja Turtles podcast. We're not a comic book podcast. We're a video game podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But god damn it, I love the goddamn Ninja Turtles so much. And when I saw National Pizza Day on the docket, you know, if you listen to our episodes, you know I love stretching. You know I love stretching for a good episode. I saw National Pizza Day, and the first motherfucking thing I thought of was Ninja Turtles games. We all love the Ninja Turtles here, so I don't think it was a much of a toss-up to have this coverage.
No.
So
if there's anything I love more than Mega Man, it's Friday the 13th and the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Let's fucking go. But first, before we jump into it, we actually have some video game news. And unfortunately, it's video game bad news. We take you live. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Hi, my name is Max Stein, and welcome to an episode of Why Microsoft is Yucky. Hello, Jan, can you hear me? That's right, I'm here amongst the destruction. I'm here at Bethesda Studios. There's dead bodies littering the streets. People are losing their jobs, and there's babies that are going hungry.
But Microsoft's vault is full of money.
I digress. I'm being humorous, but it's not funny, honestly. So the headline is Microsoft has closed a number of Bethesda studios, including Arcane Austin, and honestly, the more heart-wrenching one for me is Tango Gameworks and more. But so there's...
Yeah.
What's the reason? Constant restructuring. There's a bunch of like corporate speak that was shilled out by Microsoft. That's like we're focusing on
weird.
These games are because it's the services of games because what you have to understand about the future of games. And
she didn't say
What did
anything.
they even
She
have to
literally
say?
said nothing in that monologue. Nothing.
Yeah.
She said nothing. She just spouted a bunch of corporate speak.
it was
They're
that
not
that
even
could have been-
bothering
It
to
could have
try
been a
to
company
justify
that it could have been a company that made copiers. It could have been a company that does servers. Or it could have been Microsoft. It didn't matter because she was just spouting corporate speak for like 45 seconds straight.
So one of the big others, Arcane Austin, the people that made Redfall, the absolute disaster multiplayer vampire game. Microsoft said, we're done with that game. We're cutting ties with that whoopsie that we made. We're going to keep it on there as a sign of good faith. But no more. There's going to be an offline mode. No. New DLC characters. No. New updates. They're just not doing it. They're just closing that down.
Just not
There's-
supporting it anymore at
Yeah.
all.
There was
Too
I'm
bad
going
if
to
you
read
bought it.
a quote that I got off of IGN here, but Bethesda remains one of the key pillars of Xbox with a strong portfolio of amazing games and thriving communities. As we look to the future, there is an impressive lineup of games on the horizon.
Yeah.
In 2024 alone, we have Starfield Shattered Space.
Could not give
You
two shits.
guys loved that. We're going to double down on that. And we've got Fallout 76 Skyline Valley. Thank you, Fallout, the TV show, for making that bad game that we made. Now we're going to milk that now. And Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and always
Circle of Crystal.
the Circle
Skull
of
of Temple of
Circles.
Dooms.
And don't
Good
forget the
Lord.
Elder Scrolls Online, the fantastic. Come on, man.
Tamriel.
What are we talking about here? This.
The translation of that is Bethesda makes us money, so they're gonna stay around. Honestly.
And they're making too many games. We need like 3 games that we can just get money out of people all the time instead of all these ideas that are so boring. It's like I don't understand. I mean, I do understand, but it just really stinks.
It does.
It really hurts. It feels bad, man, to
Well,
quote
dude, it sucks
Matt
as
Furry.
a gamer, and it sucks that like so many people are straight up losing their jobs or getting reshuffled into new bullshit now because of this. Like, it's awful, man.
I'll get off my physical soapbox for a second and just say the hashtag that me and Mr. Venegor started is hashtag Game Pass is murder. I mean, like I said, forget about the physical aspect of it. Fine, you're buying digital games. But when they're giving you digital games as that service, it becomes completely dependent on a company like Microsoft, whether or not that developer survives. It is not based on the success of their game. It is not based on how well it's sold. And they can then incentivize their employees based on how well the game did by them doing a really good job. It's just completely dependent on Microsoft going, I don't really like Steve who runs that studio, so let's just shut that down.
That's a big swing. I don't know if it was if it's that personal of a thing, but it certainly
Sure.
is calloused to say
Right.
the very least. It the teetotaling to the Game Pass giant can be felt, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I like having Game Pass, but
Sure, we like it
damn,
because
dude.
you want to
But
play
I'll tell you
games.
this:
Right.
I didn't care for the Evil Within 2, but the Evil Within is a good ass fucking survival horror game over the shoulder. It's Resident Evil 4 2, in my opinion. I mean, if you've played it, I think you would agree with me. And then Hi-Fi Rush. Buck, did you play Hi-Fi Rush?
I didn't.
No,
play
I
Hi-Fi
just
Rush.
saw it. Yeah.
Because man, you got a
It looks cool.
PlayStation and it's there now, and you love rhythm games. That whole thing
Right.
is a rhythm beat 'em up.
Yeah, sure.
It's got characters designs that are like very Scott Pilgrimy. They have like a sort of tongue-in-cheekness to them, but it's about a bunch of like fascists basically that run this eco mechanic. But
It's Jet Grind Radio.
and it's all very colorful, like Jet Grind Radio, and it's super fun. But
I mean, I think
alas, now they're going to be helping make Elder Scrolls Online so
Well, that's
that
what
we
I'm-
can
I
play
think
that.
You know what I equate it to? Again, you're basing this all on corporate decisions, right? And the first thing that comes to mind for me when that kind of shit happens is when Microsoft bought Rare. Now we're going back 2 decades, but when Microsoft bought Rare, the first thing that they diverted all their resources to was to make those stupid fucking me competitors so that Microsoft could have little me's as part of your Microsoft account. Fucking Rare's resources were put towards that for like 2 years. And that's why they never said, yeah, we're buying them because we want to put out a new Banjo-Kazooie game or, remaster Perfect Dark or something amazing, which happened later. But for the first couple of years, it was like it completely was based on corporate decisions.
And now Rare is the company that makes freaking that pirate game, the Microsoft pirate game, and that's basically like that's what they do now. They make Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves, yes.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah,
and
I
they
know,
try
the,
to.
the sad thing is that this is really like it just genuinely kills innovation in the industry, in my opinion. Like that's you're not gonna see a whole lot of new interesting ideas being tried out. You're gonna see more Skyrim or more Fallout, and I love Fallout and I love Skyrim, but I don't.
It's
want
gonna
to
get
see
played
those
out.
games remade over and over again.
It's that good because there was quality there, and you didn't get one every other year. You got like 2 a decade if you were lucky.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this: Video Game Donkey's new game, Animal Well, came out, and it's not on Xbox.
No.
I think
didn't
that
know
says a little something about what it's
Dang.
like to make video games and try to also have artistic integrity.
And that game looks great.
And it looks fucking kick-ass. Hey, Video Game Donkey, we're on YouTube too. Hey, you're on YouTube. That's crazy.
side note, it's
Buck's
kinda
got
hard
some
to-
lighter
Well,
news for us,
yeah.
if you wouldn't
Yeah,
mind,
let's get
please.
something
Let's
happier.
move
Like
on.
fan-
Yeah.
Fangirl. Oh my god! Oh my
Yeah,
god! Oh my
yeah.
god!
Something a little happier in here, please.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Nintendo is releasing, also physically, a Nintendo World Championship NES edition box set and digital set for this. They're taking. Look, if you guys don't know what the Nintendo World Championship was, back in 1990, they traveled around the country. They had these challenges that kids could play, and there were big prizes up for grabs. The long and short of it, though, was you played A little bit. I have a reproduction card of it here. Actually, this is from a company that made these about 2 decades ago. I think this is even worth. The Nintendo World Championship
if you're
cards.
just listening, Buck is holding up this beautiful baby blue and white Nintendo case for the Nintendo World Championship is what it's. There's a logo
Now,
on the front.
Admittedly, so this is not an original. If you guys collectors out there know, there's only supposed to be like 50 of those in existence, and they go for like 20 grand a piece for the gray ones, and like way more than that for the gold ones, which were I think were some of the winners. This was a reproduction done by RetroZone 2008. I think this is still worth like $400 or $500 now. They made these. You literally got to do the Nintendo World Championship, which was collect 50 coins, beat a stage in Rad Racer, and then you have, I think, X amount of time in Tetris as well, or you have to get 25 lines in Tetris. And the faster you do it, the more points you get as well, right? So this Nintendo re-release, it's not an exact of this, but if you ever played NES Remix, which came out on like the DS and I think in the Wii as well, they took snippets of NES games, all kind of like WarioWare, if you ever played in the WarioWare games, but these are all NES games.
It's like they turned old NES games into WarioWare sized snippets.
Yes, and this one's going to have like online compete against your friend kind of thing, I think, as well too. So you'd be like, Mario, collect 30 coins. Kid Icarus, kill 10 enemies. I don't know all the games that are in it so far, but there's a whole bunch of like ice climbers, beat one level, whatever else, or collect whatever in there. But they're doing a cool collector's box that comes with a gold version of the NES World Championship, like display cart and stickers and cards and all kinds of fun stuff. It's on Nintendo's website as well too. I'll link you guys to it so you can see it. But I'm super excited about that because they're putting out a physical of it as well, and those are a blast to play.
My fondest memory of this thing as a child, if I remember, correct me if I'm. Now, the Megabuck we've discussed before used to run the video game room at some conventions here in Orlando. And you did a live show once, I believe, where you had it was like it was very similar to oh God, what was the Nickelodeon? Nick Arcade.
Oh, yes.
It was like Nick Arcade, and he would have people come up and play this.
Megabucks Retro Starcade was the name of the game show that we did AFO for like 4 or 5 years.
Something
So
that
they're
I'm
playing like an arcade cabinet side by side, basically, right?
No,
like,
what we did is we would take snippets of games like this in the same vein of, actually, it was based off of the old 80s TV show Starcade, where they would have kids up there and they would say, you got to play, Zaxxon, and you got to get 10,000 points in 30 seconds. And so we would do stuff like, you got to play Double Dragon and you got to get 10,000 points in 40. You got to land the plane in Top Gun. You got to
hard,
last
so unbelievably
1 minute
hard
against Mike Tyson. Was one of the challenges. We had a lot.
Get a certain number of points in Joust or something like that.
And we also did. When I bought this card originally, we also did this 1 year at AFO as a challenge as well. We actually let people play these carts on original hardware, and we replicated the Nintendo World Championship in like 2008 or 2009 or something like that.
I'm thinking we should do something like that again. Some sort of live show like that, honestly, at the conventions.
Pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But that's neither here nor there, because you know what? Buck, will you please take us back?
I want to go back in time. I got another good one for you.
They're all good ones.
It's not nearly as obscure as Trauma Center, though.
Oh, man, I almost exploded.
I just thought this would be fun, and since it's N64, I know that Venny won't miss it a whole lot, but I think that you two, and Raph especially, might like this one a lot. Okay. Today I have plucked for you Star Wars Shadows of the Empire.
I fucking love that game.
Nice. Oh my God, that's a good choice.
That's really good.
Good. I admittedly was not a huge N64 guy because I loved my PlayStation, but we did play the N64 quite a lot, and boy did I enjoy playing as Dash Rendar.
I was just about to ask, what was this fucking guy's name? He had the most hilarious Dash Rendar.
That's the one. It starts off on Hoth, right?
Right.
Oh my God, the beginning of this game scared me so much.
This was probably one of the best early renditions, though, of that. In the which one's the A-wing, or which one do you pilot where you tow cable around?
Oh yeah, what is the name of that?
Snow speeders.
the snow speeders.
Yeah, it's
Oh
a snow
my
speeder,
God.
yeah.
I had the hardest goddamn time with that as a child.
It
Even
is
Dad
so
could
good.
do it, and I couldn't figure it out.
You got Dad to play video games?
I think one time Dad was just like, "It's not that fucking hard. You just," and I think he grabbed the. I have a distinct memory of him being able to
Wow.
do the circle.
That's
That
pretty
game is hard as fuck though.
This game was phenomenal, and I remember beating the crap out of it. It was just such. It was if you didn't have like a PC in the 90s, you didn't get a whole lot of this style of Star Wars games, right? If you
Right,
didn't
right.
play like the earlier
Dark Forces or whatever.
yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And
that
those
game's
kind of games.
scary.
Those
Yeah.
are great.
Dark Forces,
Good
you
fucking
gotta-
game.
But
was
we only
remastered,
got
though.
like platformer Star Wars games on the consoles, on
Right.
NES and Super
Right.
Nintendo
Star
and
Wars
stuff.
NES,
Luke.
and then the Return of the Jedi, Super Star Wars, and all that shit.
And
Yeah.
so this was that first cool departure for us console kids. And man, what a blast.
Really cool that you don't play as a Jedi. You know what I mean?
No.
You play as like this bounty
Well, that's
hunter
what I'm saying.
character. I
It's
thought that was-
like
yeah.
the Star Wars games that are like expanded universe Star Wars stuff, which is better than any mainline Star Wars stuff, in my opinion. The expanded Star universe stuff is all way better. But
Yeah.
like the first time that you got to play a character that wasn't a character from any of the movies, you know?
Right.
And this was one of 4 Star Wars games they made for the N64. So they made Pod Racer, they
Right.
made Rogue Squadron, and then they
Right.
made Battle for Naboo.
I think I've played
man,
all of
I
them except
blacked
for
that
Battle
one
for
out of my
Naboo.
mind. Battle for
We all
Naboo.
did because it was
Oh
episode
my
1. It was like,
God.
Yeah, who
I
cares?
forgot about that janky garbage. But no, that game's cute and fun. I like this Dash Rendar with the I can remember the sound of the droid so vividly, like beep, 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 like that in the ice.
navigating the jetpack across chasms you probably weren't supposed to be able
Impossible.
to get across.
Impossible for me as a
And then
child.
sometimes across chasms you were supposed to get across. You couldn't.
Damn, that's a good choice, Buck. That's a good one. Yeah. It's funny
Good one.
because you said like you never played the N64s, growing up. Like just for
Not
me,
nearly
I
as
didn't
much.
own a PlayStation until the PlayStation 2.
Mhm.
So my main console for a long time was
wow.
the N64. So I played a lot of N64.
Don't get me wrong, I played a lot of N64. I just when you started to be able to compare the two, PS1
Right, yeah,
and
100%,
N64 especially, not only the N64 but much smaller library, I have so many. Like I said earlier, when we get around to a carousel for a PS1 and or PS2,
Yeah.
whoo doggy.
Hell yeah.
I
I'm
can't
gonna have to
wait.
lock myself in a cave like Tony Stark for like a week to try and pick 5 games.
What
Either
kind
those
of
consoles.
what kind of categories you pick to get that there Star Wars game?
So this is definitely in the shooter category, even though it's not pure FPS shooter, but shooter is a category as well. Sci-fi is a sub-genre, and so you have to have that selected as well. So those two in particular are ones that you would need, and of course the N64 is one of your consoles available. That's where you have to be to get this game in your box.
There you go.
Yeah.
Go to retrogamesdigital.com, get your copy today. Let's move on to our main subject. Let's leave the retro zone. Oh my god, my soul's coming out of my fucking body. Ah, shit.
That's kind of weird, punk.
Prepare yourself for Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. The evil Empire has struck back with a vengeance, and a new villain, the crime lord Shizor, schemes to replace Darth Vader as the Emperor's second-in-command. With Han Solo held frozen in carbonite by bounty hunter Boba Fett, it's the rebellion's darkest hour. Now, join Jedi warrior Luke Skywalker, hard-charging Chewbacca, and go undercover with heroic pilot Dash Rendar and his booming Outrider. But can Han Solo be freed and Shizor be stopped? Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. Look for the authentic figures and vehicles from Kenner.
All right, we're back. We're back, and we're ready to talk Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I caught Raph taking bites of pizza. Now I'm going to take a bite of pizza.
All right, I'm going to throw out my first factoid of the day for you. Did you know that Chuck Lorre, who created 2.5 Men and Big Bang Theory, wrote the Ninja Turtles theme song?
No.
No way.
What? What?
2.5 men, 2.5
No, you're
men,
fucking with me.
2.5
There's no
men.
He
way.
was a jingle writer before he was a sitcom writer, and he wrote it.
That's fucking funny.
There's a really great documentary. Actually, I think it's on Paramount Plus. That's a history of Ninja Turtles, and I think they actually get him on there for a quick intervio.
That's
I don't know how I
stupid
feel
and
about
funny.
that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how I feel about
I love
that.
Big Bang Theory, so I'm fine with it.
The all right. So the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a decent topic of conversation for a video game podcast because god damn, there have been a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video games. I did some more digging because I clearly haven't played them all. I didn't realize that there were so many for the DS and so many
Yeah.
for the Game Boy Advance, and
Quite a few that are not so good.
so
Yeah,
many that
quite a
look
few.
like absolute doo-doo. This is not fun looking. But I can also think of like 4 or 5 that are actually really fucking good. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade cabinet is probably my favorite arcade cabinet of all time.
Definitely the most
I agree.
recognizable.
Arguably
yeah.
one of the best ones ever.
Fun fact:
Um,
it came out before you were born.
I love the Ninja Turtles. We watched the first movie literally right before we did this recording because I hadn't
yeah.
seen it in a minute, and
Nice.
I remember almost every line, and I still love it to pieces. And
You know what's really funny? You said about martial arts with them. I was thinking about this earlier today before we were doing this episode, and I love especially the Turtle Tracks, the 5 pilot episodes of the animations just through the damn roof. But it got me thinking. I wonder if Ninja Turtles made me get into anime and Japanese culture and end up learning Japanese as a result. Like, I really wonder if that had some type of factor.
because they're ninjas or because it's animated in that high quality Eastern art style.
I think because it's rooted in Japanese culture,
Mm,
and Hamato Yoshi was a Japan. Ninjas are Japanese,
Right.
It's a
Yeah,
Japanese
right, yeah.
thing, and that it would talk about that as part of the roots of. I just wonder if it kind of planted that seed of like, whoa, this is cool culture. And look at when they would flash over to him when he was in human form or in rat form, depending on which version you're seeing. You'd see like Japanese architecture, and I heard they made a terrible third movie when they went back in time, and there was Japanese architecture and all kind. So I wonder if that kind of hit me the same.
Yeah, like the Ninja Turtles
to.
got you into ninja
Yeah.
shit, and then the ninja
guess so.
shit got you into Japanese shit.
I think
You know
that
what I
kind
mean?
of happened.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
that's it. I see the thread.
it's
Like it,
right.
it works. Yeah, I can
But
see it.
no, I absolutely adore. I still love the Ninja Turtles as an adult. In fact, last year we went to Ungakuvania, which is a local friend of ours that does promotion and nerd music. And they did their second annual Halloween party, and me and Princess M dressed up as Casey Jones and April O'Neil, for
Hell
that
yeah.
party. I mean, we still absolutely love that. Mac will tell you the story about how from like 91 to like 96, every Friday night, we would order pizza and watch the second Ninja Turtles movie. So much so that we have a special type of pizza with
This pizza right here.
pepperonis, onions, and green peppers on it, and that's Ninja Turtles pizza to us. Like, my wife of 20 years knows. Again, pizza tonight? Yeah, you want Ninja Turtles? She knows what I want. That's what I want on my pizza because it just, for some stupid reason,
We're
it just became a
grown
thing in our
adults
house.
that call it that.
Yes, right.
That's
exactly.
how much we love the Ninja
Yeah.
Turtles.
And my yeah, it's been ingrained in me since those first little plastic toys came out when I was a kid, and the first show was on TV, and it was like, holy crap! That was before Power Rangers and all that stuff came around. for us
Fuck, I didn't
80s
even
kids.
forget the toys. Fucking
Yeah.
forget about it, dude.
I have a huge bin in the garage that I absolutely love.
So awesome.
Mhm.
Raph, when did you first encounter the Ninja Turtles? The show, the movies, the games?
I encountered I think it was the cartoon, but truth be told, like the Ninja Turtles were just something that was in my mind, like as far back as I can remember. I used to love the cartoon. The movie, like the first movie, I've seen it so many times. I owned it on VHS as a kid, and arguably, like I probably shouldn't have watched it when I was like, because it's kind of like a
It's a
little
little
bit
dark.
more, yeah, a little darker, yeah.
Damn! That's,
Oh,
that's
there's-
all I
yeah,
gotta
yeah,
say
yeah.
about that. Yeah.
There's-
Right, yeah, exactly, yeah.
There's quite a few dams in that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, dude, I grew up watching it really like as far back as I can remember. It's something that I mean, maybe like I grew up to like anime as well, and a lot of like really cool Japanese shit, and I wouldn't be surprised if that really did plant the seed, like you were saying.
Right.
Honestly, Buck.
Yeah, they were so big in the 80s too. I remember seeing them. MGM Studios here, we live in Orlando and we have our whole life. So we went to Disney a lot as kids, and they used to do a lot of crossovers to non-Disney stuff. I remember going to see April and the Ninja Turtles get out of the turtle van at MGM Studios, and I was like
Yeah.
11 years
There's
old.
a picture. Our mother has a picture of
Does-
Buck
that's
with
awesome.
Donatello or something like this. Yes, this is a little
I'll say
kid.
that there is two
Perfect.
things that I rented from Blockbuster more than anything else as a kid growing up. One was The Neverending Story, and two was Turtles in Time.
Nice.
Oh, baby. We should.
That's such a
That's
good-
gonna just like. That's got a perfect
Yeah,
ramp to
that's so much
segue. Yeah. I was gonna say, for me, it's so funny that you mentioned the cartoon. The cartoon was really more Buck's jam. The cartoon was on more for Buck. My number one exposure to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was the second film, starring Ernie Reyes Jr.
Oh. What? Well, let's
Ooh.
not forget the voice of Donatello.
Oh,
Corey Feldman.
Corey
is the
Feldman
voice of Donatello.
Is he in the
No
second one
way.
as well?
Yes, I believe
to
in the
double
first
check that.
two, but not the third one.
Definitely not the third one.
There's
But
a third one. It was
the
gross.
the second one is so cartoony and fun and light. We watched it constantly, and then the
Yes.
first one was a close second, obviously, because we're
It was
not going
more
to watch the
serious.
third one. But man, we watched that first one. I love the Ninja Turtles. The scene where they're all doing the training montage,
Yes.
getting ready to go back to the city and find Splinter.
Mhm.
That is the shit I'm talking about. Where it's like I would ask Buck to do that, to play pretend that, because that's
Yeah,
shit I
remember.
have always. I just get so jazzed up. Getting into martial arts and doing taekwondo, and it's just, which leads me to the who's your favorite Ninja Turtle, right? For me, I want to be a Michelangelo so bad, but I know I'm a fucking Leonardo. I know I'm a goddamn Leonardo. I want to kiss the teacher's ass and do good and be the best one and do everything just perfectly right to my own detriment. Buck, how about yourself?
I've been a nerd my whole fucking life. Donatello has always been my favorite. He tinkered and messed with machines and all that shit, and it's like that freaking meme goes, don't be known, my sons, and stay hidden in the shadows. Also, the Ninja Turtles, and they're flying a giant fucking blimp that says "Turtles" on the side of it through Manhattan.
Fuck yeah.
Like that. Donatello maybe could have done. Never mind. It's awesome.
Dude, straight up, growing up, I was a combination of Donatello and Michelangelo, or I wanted to be a combination of Donatello and Michelangelo, but half the time I acted like a Raph. And that's also my name.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah, it's
Raph
just
is
something
definitely-
like growing up as a kid, like anytime I told someone my name, they're like, oh, like the Ninja Turtle? Like that's like the
Yes,
first thing that I would
that was
get.
the thing.
And I still get it now as an adult.
And also, you never knew anybody named Donatello or Michelangelo or
Right,
Leonardo.
yeah.
Yeah,
I had
true.
one of my best friends' name is Mikey, so like that's
There you
kind
go.
of
That's
close.
pretty close.
Get away with that. That's true.
Yeah.
Raphael is the glue that holds the
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles together, though, because if everyone is happy, you don't get all those awesome messages about, because anger and sadness are real
So much fun.
emotions. You know what I mean? Someone's gotta have them. It's God, when he's I think I'll go then fine, then go. That's good. And then he gets jumped, and then everyone's sad.
That's right.
I read somewhere that that's why he has defensive weapons, because he's like the most angry
Offensive one, right?
Yeah, like so he
That's
was given a
interesting.
defensive weapon. That's why they all have the weapons that they have. I think is like
Right.
Leonardo gets the only weapon that can actually kill somebody. Because he shows the leadership to be able to kind of like not do it. Yeah, they all have like their own things.
That's great.
Mhm. Okay, so let's jump into the video games. Unless Buck, do you have anything else you want to say about any other, the original comics, any the Eastman shit, like anything like that?
Just my favorite Ninja Turtles memory, which was I'll never forget this till the day I die. AFO 2003 ish, right around there, was my 21st birthday. AFO just happened to be that weekend, Anime Festival Orlando, and we did a screening of the first Ninja Turtles movie. And if you guys remember, pop-up video that used to be on not
VH1.
MTV, VH1. Thank you. Our friend Pete made a pop-up video version of the first Ninja Turtles with a damn-o-meter counting how many times Raphael said damn, and putting up little snippets of things that happened and quirks and outtakes and other things like that. And I'll never forget, at midnight, I was going to turn 21. We were showing the movie at like 11 or something like that, or right around midnight. And you weren't allowed to have any pizza come in from the hotel. But we're watching Ninja Turtles. We have to have pizza, right? So we're up on stage and had the couch up there, like you remember, Mac. And and we got on the microphone and said, all right, look, we weren't allowed to bring pizza to this thing. But if a bunch of money were to appear on this stage, then pizza might show up later. So people just came up to that. We put an empty box up on the stage, and people just came up putting 5s and 10s and 20s in this box, and we raised literally like a couple $100 in like 5 minutes. And so this is back in the day where you couldn't order pizza online; you had to call them. So I'm on the phone, mic'd up with the pizza place, going, "Yeah, we want 10 pizzas and this was whatever else." And I order all the pizzas thing, and I get to the end, and I go, "And the clock's ticking, dude. No anchovies." And I mean,
If you
no
put anchovies on this pizza,
you're gonna be in big trouble, okay? And lo and behold, 30 minutes later, like 15 pizzas showed up to a crowd of however many people we had watching Ninja Turtles.
We got to do a live show.
21st birthday.
Hell yeah.
That was a blast.
We
My
gotta
favorite.
do a live show.
Thanks,
That's
Pete. You got
fucking
company
incredible.
For that.
That is an incredible memory. God, that was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Buck, let's have you as our official in-game historian clock us off with some of the earlier Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That is a mouthful to say every single goddamn time.
TMNT.
TMNT.
The Ninja Turtles have, like Mac mentioned, released a bazillion. They are very marketable.
Yes.
I don't know if Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird intended that, but goddamn, are they marketable? What I would consider the better Ninja Turtles games would have been all of the like pre 1993-ish ones, which notably are also made of note here. When I checked some of the Wikipedia stuff, and the craziest stat I saw was great, that as of 1993, the first 11 Turtles video games had sold 18 million units for a total of almost $500 million
Holy
in
shit.
revenue. Wow. That is just the good ones. Like that would cut off at basically like Turtles in Time. Literally, and Hyperstone Heist. Like that's where it cuts off. Right around where that came out, Tournament Fighters, and then because from there, let's face it, they kind of like went downhill a little bit and became just kind of kids games, right?
Right.
But I mean, notably so, the NES one that we got, that was the first Ninja Turtles game. That was the first one that was ever released, and was ported to quite a few consoles, like the Amiga, the Amstrad, the Atari ST, the Commodore 64. Most notably, the DOS version of that game.
Let's just tear into this fucking game right now. Honestly, let's take a break and stop at Ninja Turtles 1, released like basically at the same time as the arcade machine.
Yeah, pretty close.
You have to know this for reference because the arcade machine side scroller beat 'em up looks amazing.
Made by Konami.
Made by Konami. They fucking bring you Castlevania. They fucking bring you Metal Gear. So they got the license to the Ninja Turtles games first. And what could be whole amazing future. They botch it. I'm gonna spoil it towards the end. They end up botching, but in these games they don't botch it.
So here's your fun
DOS
fact:
one looks like
who made the Ninja Turtles games for the NES?
Oh, right, not Konami.
It's Ultra.
Wait,
there you go. A subsidiary.
But wait, no, it's not.
It's Konami.
This is still Konami.
Right.
Do we remember our previous episodes talking about the Nintendo seal of quality?
Yes.
Nintendo had a rule. In order for them to not pump out dog shit, you can only make, as a developer, 5 titles a year. You can only release 5 titles a year.
Wow.
So what did companies like Konami do? Oh. Well, we didn't make this. Ultra made it. And this is just Konami 2.
There's literally a Konami logo when you start it, like a
right,
like
it's
because
in Japan,
in Japan they didn't have the same rules.
That's fucking amazing.
Just in America.
That's
and
so funny.
This, which is just the arcade game ported to the NES, was also made by Ultra. And like the first Metal Gear game was made by Ultra.
Yeah.
They were all still, it wasn't until Manhattan Project where Nintendo stopped being so strict on that and they could just put Konami on the box there, right? But like you just mentioned, Ninja Turtles 1 for the NES and the arcade game were released the same year.
I believe so.
They were. So they were being developed at the same time.
I was about to ask that. Because the second one was the arcade port, right?
Right. It's literally called the arcade game, I believe.
Right. Yeah.
And the reason, again, I got right up to the edge of it. The arcade game, side scroller, beat 'em up. The first Ninja Turtles game for the Nintendo half top-down exploration game, half side scroller. I didn't like it as a
Yeah, it
kid.
was rough.
I
It
didn't
was rough.
like it. It's really hard.
It
You
is.
basically you have to be the turtles one at a time. You use
Mhm.
them like a team.
Mhm.
And if one of them die, like if Mikey loses his life, you're just like, now you gotta be Donatello. Donatello is the best one because he's got the longest weapon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Right?
But it's slow, so it depends on what you're doing.
Oh, that's a good point. The platforming is clunky as all
Mm.
hell.
Yeah.
The version of the game that Buck mentioned,
The DOS version.
the DOS
Yeah.
version. Would you like
They-
to?
It's literally
the,
impossible.
the developers had to switch around some geometry in some of the levels, and most notably in one of the sewer levels, because it's Ninja Turtles. Turtles can't swim, right? Well, they can't in this game. And they shifted the geometry in one of the jumps and never play tested the game. It's literally unbeatable without hacks because the jump is too far and the turtles can't make the jump.
You can see it online. People talk that you literally just. It's like that scene in Wayne's World with there is no key for the kids just keep pumping in quarters.
The beauty part is you can't get to the next level. The gelatinous cube that
so-
eats villagers.
It's so shitty, man. It looks yucky. It's
it looks
I
really
know
bad.
it's one of those things where like it's not a bad game. You gotta understand how games were
No,
back
it's a
then.
pretty
It's
bad
like
game.
I know, but it's not anywhere compared to then.
No.
TMNT2, the arcade game, comes to the NES.
It was
Pretty
only a
good.
year later. It took them like a year to port that. And so it was not very long that we all realized how bad the first Ninja Turtles
Yeah.
game was in comparison. I think it was the same thing like we talked about with Zelda and some of these other games that they weren't quite sure where to go. So for the home version, they made a different game than they did for the arcade. The arcade one was obviously made to make money, right? It was made
Right.
for kids to pump quarters into and make money.
Right, yeah.
I think they quickly realized that that is not how you make a Ninja Turtles game, because if you notice, they never really went back to that formula. They
Right.
they became beat 'em ups for like the rest of forever.
Because
'Cause
that's
that's
how
what
they
it was
work
good for.
best, I think.
Yes, I think that's how they work best for sure.
I'm not sure
Absolutely.
entirely why. I guess we can get into that as we go into the ones that are a little bit better. So 2, like we said, arcade port. It doesn't look as good, but it plays that way. It's not a goddamn exploration game with impossible. It's just moving left
Yeah.
to right and
just beautiful.
beating up Bebop and Rocksteady one at a time instead of trying to divert your attention.
And in that year where they ported it, they managed to put more levels in that. This game has 2 more levels and bosses.
Oh wow, I did not
than
know
the
that.
arcade machine does. It does. It has a like a snow level. I'm trying to remember, and it has a Japanese style level with like the sliding. They're actually on the back cover for you YouTube kids. These 2 levels were added to the NES version. For that time period, we were really used to getting ports of arcade games and things getting cut because of the limitations of the hardware. So to
Right.
get more stuff was crazy for us. Even as late as like the Super Nintendo, Final Fight, you couldn't play 2 characters on screen at once because of hardware limitations. And they took out Rolento's level and the Fire warehouse bonus levels because it didn't have enough storage space on the
Huh.
chips. And so to get more was crazy for us as kids.
And I'll say I like the TMNT2, the arcade game, better than like Double Dragon.
100%.
Okay.
I
Joe,
love Double Dragon, but dude, yeah.
Raph was playing it the other day, and just like the co-op of it all, and like the turtles being held by one of the Foot clans while the other clan beats you up, and you can save each other, and I don't know, it just it's more dynamic and colorful. The turtles themselves are a little bit bigger. They turn and look at the screen
Yeah.
and make like a cute face. Like
funny.
Yeah.
it was just more friendly and accessible to me. I think it's a better game on as far
You
as
had
beat 'em
mentioned
ups
that
go.
you didn't like this one as much, and that follows the exact same formula.
No,
So what-
I had mistaken that one for the
Oh.
first
With the
one.
first one,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
the
we did
Manhattan
have this one
Project
as
was
well
quite
as a
good.
kid. It's funny. Yeah, this one is a lot more based on the cartoon.
Yeah.
Right. There's none of those Triceratopses are actually in that game. I don't believe so.
Ton. Yes, he's a boss. He's Triceraton or whatever the main one's he was a boss in one of the levels.
But yeah, that one's not bad. It's basically
enjoyed
the
it.
same thing. It's so weird. They all have the same color headbands on the bottom portion of the screen. Like they're all like the Eastman red instead of the separate
That's
colors.
interesting.
I don't know why they did
I
that.
think
but
the hardest part with the home version ones was like, especially this one. This one never came out in arcades, right? But it followed that
Right.
same formula, and I think it's Blockbuster and video rental fault, to be honest, because you still had a limited number of lives in this game, and so to beat it, like you had to be careful and strategic with which turtles you chose and how you fought certain bosses, because it could be like you ran out of lives in level 4. Well, you got to start back at the beginning. You couldn't,
Right.
continue whatever else. It made it really hard to play, or you had to rent it a bunch.
I
Yeah.
think that one, that and maybe like 2 had like the most DNA that translated over into Turtles in Time.
Which
'cause
we might as
I
well.
felt it with 3, especially. Turtles in Time is perfect.
Turtles
I
in
stand
Time,
that.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Yeah.
4, Turtles in Time, bro.
Mm.
Man, what a kick-ass side scroller beat 'em up. I think probably my favorite one next to Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. And
Wow. Deep cut.
yeah, it's so fucking good, man. I didn't get to play it before this, but I was just perusing through videos of different Turtles games, and God, the levels, the background mirage in the desert level, and the fucking pirate ship, and the Big Apple 3 a.m. It's everything about this game is so memorable for me. I really had a hard time not putting it on my top 5 Super Nintendo games of all time, because in retrospect, I'm like, it really was probably the game I played the most with Buck, because we could just play it pretty easily.
Turtles in Time took the perfect formula that was the first Ninja Turtles arcade game and just made a sequel. It's prettier, the animations are a little bit better, everything's a little bit sharper, it's a little bit longer, it has all the fun parallaxing of the sprites where you can throw them at the screen, do those other kinds of things.
Oh, that's right.
Man,
Yeah. You
let's
could
talk about
grab the
these
Foot
sprites
Clan and
because-
throw them at the
Yeah.
screen.
There's a boss
like
you have to do it. There's a Shredder boss where you have to do it because Shredder's in the foreground shooting at the turtles in the stage.
Oh, it's so fucking good.
That's one. So that game was just that perfect expansion of that along there too. I had this on my quirky titles list, but I want to bring it up now because Turtles in Time is probably one of the best Ninja Turtle beat 'em ups they ever made. So Turtles in Time was remade by Ubisoft in 2009. It's called Turtles in Time Reshelled.
Yeah.
And it's an absolutely gorgeous, amazing, complete reimagining of Turtles in Time. And it was digital only. You could only play it on PS3 and Xbox 360. And it was delisted in 2012. I'm pretty sure I still have a copy on my 360. So in other words, you cannot play that game. This was about 2 or 3 years before I founded Retro Game Treasure. And I think it was one of those pivotal moments for me where I said to myself, that sucks. Like, not only was they felt a need to make this game digital only, but I can't own this game and I can't play this game again. I am at the mercy of the Ubisoft gods if I ever want to play this game again. And I think it was one of those like nails in the coffin for me to start researching and make Retro Game Treasure a thing so that we could, help people collect more retro games.
You want to preserve the library.
You took one of my favorite, IPs and one of my probably my favorite games in that series, and you remade it. You tickled my balls, something fierce.
Yeah.
But then I was only allowed to play it for like 3 years, and then you took it away.
Wow.
Ripped it away from me.
And
what an interesting origin story. I did not know
yeah,
this.
it's my super villain superhero arc.
It's the Turtles.
Yeah.
And it's the Turtles.
The Turtles I'm very sensitive about the Turtles, and so this was something that was really phenomenal that you gave us for a very short period of time, and it made me go, oh man, who's got the power here? It's not me as a consumer. I mean, maybe I can speak with my dollars by what I purchase, but it certainly wasn't this in this case. Hashtag
Wow.
Game Pass is murder.
I'll send you guys the video later, but I found this video about how like the DRM, especially like from like the mid 2000s, like some of these PC games that were on like DRM from like Xbox Games Live or whatever, for example,
When they were going through a weird
right
stage
just
in their life.
you can't play any of those anymore ever. Even
Right.
if you own a physical copy of them, you can't play them anymore. It's
Right.
crazy. I'll send you guys the video later. It's fascinating.
But this was an extreme case. Like, how many games
Yeah.
can you think of where, one, they were digital only
Right.
as a modern game, and two, they're just completely delisted. Like, there's literally no way to play it unless my Xbox 360 hard drive is still alive.
Wow.
It's like PT.
That is.
To extreme
Well,
though.
sure,
like
yeah,
PT was just a taste. It wasn't
Right,
a,
it's a
a
demo,
remaking
yeah.
of a
Trailer.
great game. But yes,
Wow.
that's the closest thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of remaking of a great game, I'm going to jump the list all the way to the end here because there's a lot of Nickelodeon takes over, right, for the TMNT, and they do the one with the American Pie guy,
Jason
and
Biggs, yeah.
Jason Biggs. Thank
Taken
you.
over by Seth Green after like season 3.
Good series. I actually like that one a lot. There's also a WB one before that I missed, where they
Yeah, me
have
too.
that's the no pupil one where they're like super jacked. That had a bunch of games that were for the PlayStation. Most of them were one player. They look like dog shit.
It's weird.
They weren't very good.
So there's just a drought, man. There's just no real good. They appear in Tony Hawk as playable characters.
Oh, I have a whole list if you'd like guest appearances of the Ninja Turtles.
They're in a bunch of shit. I guess the best one is probably they're in Injustice, right?
Yeah.
The fighting game.
They were
that
in
was-
Injustice 2.
Yeah.
If you're a MOBA fan, you can play as the Ninja Turtles, Shredder, and Krang in Smite. I
Wow.
own the Ao Kong skin for Krang in his body, and man, the voice acting for it is so good. Now that Nickelodeon owns them, they're in that All-Star Brawl series.
Yep.
In both of them, the first one and the second one.
Yep.
And if you're a Call of Duty fan, you can play as Shredder in Modern Warfare 2, boys.
What
the
the
fuck,
fuck?
for
I didn't know that. That's
Dude, I'm just reading off the list, man.
fucking
That's crazy.
ninja rage quickly without trace. The game I'm going to roll right up into after all this garbage. 2 years ago, what was it?
2022. Yeah.
2022. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder Revenge comes out.
This is my collector's edition box that's in a pseudo VHS box.
Dude.
Oh, that's cool as
Oh,
fuck,
that is
man.
kick
Wow.
ass. looking.
It looks like a VHS tape.
What?
This game.
That's good.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
dude, this game,
Yeah.
talk about we were talking about spiritual successors in our last episode, Super Mario World and Super Mario Wonder.
Mhm.
This here game, Shredder's Revenge, is the spiritual successor to Turtles in Time.
100%.
And it
Yes.
fucking it's like if you took Turtles in Time and mixed it with that Scott Pilgrim brawler, because the
and
characters
a little bit of Mario 3 in there with the world map.
there's some Mario 3 world mapping where they and then you got to actually walk to the next level.
Wonderful.
You
And
can
there's hidden things
redo
in the
levels.
levels? Yeah.
Yes, that's why you need to be able to go back to
Find
them because there's hidden
neutrinos
shit
and
in
shit.
them. So it's a 2D side-scrolling beat 'em up. They went back, and it's sprite artwork, right?
Oh, it's
No more
gorgeous.
3D models, and they look so fucking good.
It's so good.
All the Ninja Turtles now look different in the sense that they have like different body language.
Yeah.
Right.
I played this game for the first time just a couple days ago
Oh,
because
man.
Raph got a copy and we just got hammered drunk and played fucking Ninja Turtles
So great.
as roommate. The 3 roommates just fucking ripping through basically almost all the game basically, and we had a fucking blast, man.
Mhm.
Oh my god,
Mhm.
this game
It's so good.
it is
Would you play it on Switch or Steam?
played on the Switch.
Okay.
It's one of the best dang now it's side-scrolling beat 'em ups. Like
Who'd you play as? Who'd you guys play as?
played as Raph.
Leonardo.
Nice. Ooh.
And then we had our buddy Eric was Donatello.
nice. I
um,
really like Casey Jones.
About to say they have
He's a
Casey
heavy swinger.
Jones. They've got
O'Neill's
Master
in it, too.
Splinter. They've
Yep.
got April O'Neil. They just added Karai and Yosaki Ojimbo.
Yeah.
You can play simultaneously. It's so funny. Instead of going backwards with the number of playable characters, they went forwards and said 4. Why not 6? So you
Yeah.
can play 6-player
Absolutely.
multiplayer, which is
So
just
many
like,
people.
dude.
Yeah.
And that 6-player, I said that they look different as far as their body posture. Also, they have entirely different like move sets.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like
Upgrades, you level up and you get more supers.
Yeah,
those
your
old
character's level.
those
you get,
old
you get abilities.
beat 'em ups, like they did some, like their moves, they have their respective weapons. Donatello's got farther reach than Raphael, certainly, but in this game, I'm talking they'll have a completely different special. They'll
Yes.
have completely different combo moves. It's like it was made by Platinum or something. Like it's God hand levels of like combos that you can memorize. But Raph was saying when we were playing, you do not have to.
No.
You could
can-
button mash if you want
You
to.
can absolutely button mash your
Yeah.
way through this game and
Yeah.
feel really, really cool.
Yeah. These are the same guys that did the Streets of Rage remake and Windjammers 2 and that Dotemu that did this game.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yes,
Dude, this game though, like it's got those specials. Talking about those specials, my favorite thing is the fact that you can taunt to regain all of your special meter, and it makes you want to do the taunting. So all the turtles are fighting, then taunting, and it makes it so much fun.
we were in love with that yesterday. It was because this game almost kind of feels like a side-scrolling fighting game where it's you versus a
Little
bunch
bit,
of
yeah.
enemies because there's so many different moves and there's a function like Raph said where you have this like certain amount of special meter like a fighting game. You can level up and get like 2 to 3 bars of it so that you can store them, right? But yeah, you can get a full bar. Your first bar, if it's not filled, you can fill it all the way up by doing your taunt. Every Ninja Turtle has a taunt.
So cool.
Fucking Leonardo takes his sword out and does a quick meditation.
Yeah.
Raphael just fucking laughs at the enemies. He just puts his hands on his hips like an anime character and laughs at them. Donatello crouches down and plays a Game Boy. He goes, 1 second, and then turns around.
It's great.
Dude, it's
Did you play any of the first DLC and how it's presented?
I haven't played any of the
No,
DLC yet.
I
no.
didn't get to pick up the DLC yet. I was thinking about getting it because it's on sale right now.
It turns that same game, it adds those characters obviously, and then it adds a new mode that turns it into a roguelite.
Whoa.
So it's like a single splash screen. You get through X amount of enemies, and at the end you get to choose from 2 items, and it'll give you either health or these crystals you're trying to collect. Or it'll give you a special item that says next level you get to play as Rocksteady or Shredder or some cool character.
Cool.
And then you go through these worlds. You're trying to help the neutrinos do something. You go through these worlds, but every world is like a different universe. Like you'll get one that's like New York, one that's like feudal Japan, one that is all black and white and looks like that Genesis game Comic Zone. And like tears down the middle of the page and stuff.
That's kick ass.
And so it turns that same game into a roguelite and still has the leveling benefits and all the other fun things you can play through all as the different characters and level them up.
I think it's like $6. I might get it.
You might as
it's
well.
So worth it.
The skins is something I wrote on my notes here. Like just when you start the game, all the turtles have like 8 different skins for themselves. So it's just like we went through and we changed to different color schemes just so it was easier to differentiate ourselves on the screen. So it's like, all right, Raphael or Donatello is the lime green skin for this game, but then I'm gonna switch to like the olive tone, like movie almost skin color that they have, and then Raph changed to one that's like a different comic styling where it's like no pupils and like really like solid coloring, like thick, like almost like comic book shading.
That's that WB
It's like a
one.
forest
And they even have like
just
a
really dark green.
like a Game Boy skin that you can put on where they just become 2 different tones of green.
It's just the quadrichrome. Yeah,
And it's
quadrichrome.
good.
Oh God,
Quadrichrome. Good term.
it is
Yeah.
it is really fucking kick ass. I
That's
think
super
it's
duper fun.
probably the best TMNT brawler, even though Turtles in Time has great
Oh yeah.
moments in it, but man, this game does homages to all of the other ones so well that it's like you're playing them. So it's like fuck. It's
No,
really
it by far is the best Ninja Turtles beat 'em up. I mean, it's just they've taken advantage of modern technology and the fact that it's a fandom now, right? Not a kids niche kind of thing.
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely a better game than Turtles in Time because there's more game. There's more game to experience.
Oh, the high-fiving. There's a mechanic where if you are facing another Ninja Turtle, you can press L1 to high-five them, and the person who initiates the high-five gives some of their health to the
Shares
other
health.
turtle.
Yeah.
So you seem to have
Strategy in a beat 'em up.
You have to have a lot. You seem to have a lot more health than a normal TMNT beat 'em up, I find. Which makes it to where you don't have to do like Buck said, you lose so many lives. These games used to be about pumping quarters, losing lives. You get killed frequently. This game not only do you not get killed that often, even when you do get downed, a countdown timer starts, and one of the other turtles can come over and pick you up before
By
you
feeding you
die.
pizza.
It's
Right.
really cool and forgiving, and just looks gorgeous. The music is by Mike Patton, which just Faith No More, right? Just like really, really good.
Oh.
Like just
Wait,
the
for
sound.
real?
Yeah, the
I didn't
the
know that.
soundtrack is incredible.
And you know who does the main? Do you know who is collabed on the main theme song and outro?
No.
Mega Ran.
Oh,
He does that
Oh,
Pizza
really?
Power, whatever that track is. That's called.
Fuck yeah!
Him and some of
Shouts
his
out to
other
Mega
rap
Ran.
buddies
Cool.
did that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I love how it's part of that dynamic shift that games have made, especially in recent years, where it's less about difficulty and more about content. Right?
Right.
Make the game longer by giving me more content, not by making it so challenging that I have to do the same level 5 times to
Right.
get through it.
All right. You got anything else you need for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or shall we wrap this bad boy up and head into the what else you got?
Boy, there's a lot of Ninja Turtles games.
Yeah.
They're not all good.
It's all- yeah,
They're
But
not
there
all
are
good.
some good ones out there.
Fuck yeah! Let's take it home. Let's end our show with our what else you got.
Now, at exactly what point did we lose control here?
Maybe somebody ought to tell them that we're the good guys.
Yeah.
Okay, we are here at the end of the show where we have our What Else You Got segment where we're allowed to bring anything to the table. We could bring a new comic book, we could bring a TV show, we could bring a short story or a hand puppet. This week, I hope I'm not stealing your Raph. Do you have one this week for us?
I do.
That's not okay. I hope I'm not stealing yours when I say this. But I played The Quarry with some
Ooh,
for the
cool.
first
Yeah,
time.
that's not-
Is this what you were? That's not what you're gonna pick?
No,
okay,
no,
good.
It's not, no, no,
Okay,
Werewolf
that's
Town.
someone else, yeah.
So
Starring
yeah,
David Arquette.
yeah. So the makers of Until Dawn made this game, The Quarry. It's got Brenda Song in it. It's not new, so I'm not gonna recap it for you. But it's basically a movie game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what if there was a game that was a movie? So we got 5 people together. It's like, what's the max player count? I think 8.
It was
Basically,
8.
you can
No,
get
yeah, 8. Yeah,
you can
8.
get one person for each character in the game, and you get to control their decisions, a la Telltale game, like one at a time. So we got 6 of us together. 2 people doubled up
Cool.
on characters, and we just drank and played this game. And it was like
That's fun.
it was like watching Nightmare on Elm Street or something, but it was
But you
one
play
that
the
I hadn't seen before because you know what I mean. It was so. But God, my big takeaway was that it fucking looks amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
it did.
We are playing it on the digital only Xbox.
Mhm.
So I was like expecting it to not look so good because that's the less powerful of the two. But man, Raph was there. I mean, we were both like, holy shit. I keep forgetting this is a game because if I
There was a couple of scenes
Mm-hmm.
where like it was shots of like a car, a person walking from the car, and I'm like, oh, this looks like a real shot from a movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
fucking
not much to
Ted
say here other than, like I said, it's like a Telltale game. You do like quick time events, basically, or maybe like a pivotal moment will happen, and then you're asked to pick between 2 choices, like run away or help your friend. And it was just really fun to play with a gaggle of people because it was like almost like an MST3K thing, right? Where we're picking on each other for the choices that we make if we make a
Fun.
dumb choice or whatever. And sometimes it felt good to make stupid choices. Like I was like playing a character that's sort of like obviously a very not nice young lady who will probably get killed, I'm assuming, very quickly in the game. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. So I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure this stupid
Turn her
idiot
into a
gets
werewolf.
killed. I don't mean to spoil it, but I don't believe it's werewolves. It's actually a different type of cryptid. That's a much more esoteric than werewolves. I won't spoil it,
Certainly,
but
certainly looks like a werewolf to me.
it's a skinwalker.
That's right.
Yeah. But we would. That's for last podcast on the left, not here. But
It's
anyhow,
pretty good though. I'd same as you guys. It was coming out. It looked so cool, and it totally fell off my radar. And like
Yeah.
last summer, Mr. Venacor picked it up, and he played a lot of it on stream. So I watched most of that game, which is the same as playing it, right?
yeah.
I
that
remember I
different,
was on
yeah.
vacation, and I think he was on vacation at the same time. So I was hanging out like painting Warhammer minis, and he just like streamed it on Discord or something, and I watched like 80% of that game.
It's fun. The acting is like it's all They just got actors instead
Yeah.
of random people, and
David
there's
Arquette's in it, right?
some serious motion caption or something going on,
Ted Raimi's
and
in it, too.
like it looks so goddamn good. But yeah, Brenda Song's in it. Love her. It's funny, like it's funny enough to be a good horror movie because you need a little bit of comedy to have some good horror. And there were some moments that were pretty scary, even just in the
Oh, yeah.
beginning. You know what I mean? But yeah, we
The
played for
lady
like
in the back of the car.
what?
Lots of tense moments.
Yeah, we played for probably like 2.5, almost 3 hours or something like this.
Cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, the music is fun. It sounds very similar to the music from Nightmare on Elm Street. And man, I hope we had one of our friends text us today. So are you all down to quarrel again later and do
Oh,
some
snap.
quarrying?
Hell yeah.
You gotta find a way
But,
to stream that for me on Discord just so I can watch.
It's yeah, the quarry. If you, I don't know, I wasn't really interested in it, but then when we played it as a group,
That's cool.
when I realized that it actually was pretty decent, that is like production wise, like I was like, oh, it's like a pretty good horror movie. It's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh shit, yeah, it's worth it. It's fun. Play it if you got a group of friends or something, or maybe if just you and your girlfriend or boyfriend, or even just by yourself with the lights off and the spooky popcorn.
Yeah, cool. I didn't know you could split it up in players like that.
Yeah.
That's a really neat
Yep.
feature.
Oh, it's a whole genre now, like the Dark Pictures anthology games.
Right.
Was it Until Dawn? All
Right.
of those
Man
games
of,
you can
Man
play
of Medan
couch
or
co-op.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
cool.
yeah. But that, and I caught up on X-Men 97. It's fucking
Attaboy.
holy shit.
There's only
still
one
need to
episode
get
left. It'll be out by the time this airs.
So
I still
fucking
need to
good.
get
It's
caught
fucking
up.
crazy
Did you
good. It's-
see what Rogue was wearing in that episode?
Yeah, we won't get into it. Buck, will you tell us what else you got?
You guys know that I am a pinhead, aka a person who plays pinball machines. That's
Oh,
what we're
shit.
affectionately called, I think. Stern announced its new pinball machine, which is John Wick,
Ooh.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm thinking on pinball.
Fun fact, I had not watched That's so funny. Fun fact, I had not watched any of the John Wick movies as of a week ago.
Oh,
And
shit.
now I've seen the first 3.
You went on a
Nice.
Wickathon?
Dude, well, I didn't realize how like tied together they are, and now I have to watch chapter 4, obviously.
I've only
but-
seen the first one.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, the second one is a giant cliffhanger to the third one, and the third one is a giant cliffhanger to the fourth one.
Naturally. So what's good with the pinball?
Oh man, it's a new designer. Tim Sexton, I think, did most of this, which is pretty cool. But man, it's funny because it's a real throwback to some pins from the 90s, most notably Johnny Mnemonic, which is another Keanu Reeves movie.
Wow.
Oddly enough,
Has similar layout or something, or
the aesthetic of it, they went with like, well, you haven't seen it, but like in the third one, I think especially, there is an assassin who is either deaf or mute. So she speaks in all sign language, and John Wick, being the badass that he is, also speaks sign language. And whenever they do hand gestures to sign to one another, it doesn't just pop up words at the bottom of the screen. It does it in like this really stylistic font, and like keywords of the phrase like "seeing you" will like show up in this different like red or blue font on the screen and color on the screen. And they totally took that aesthetic with like the things on screen. The backdrops have these neat like neon outlines to the buildings and such. And I say that throwback to a couple pins from the 90s because it really has that kind of like, I don't know what you'd call it, Art Deco style with the neon outlines to everything. Has that really cool like 90s vibe to it at the same time. But it covers all 4 of those movies, which is pretty cool, which is why I said I want to watch these movies now so that I've seen them, and there's context here with like his car and the blood marker things that they do starting in the second movie. They're definitely worth a watch. You can literally, and I hate to say it this way, because you can literally skip the action scenes or only half pay attention. They're great action scenes, but the story is just good enough to keep you interested in those movies. Go, this is pretty cool. There is this whole, in this world that they created, there is this whole underground assassin thing. Like, you would love, Mac, that they introduce, I think in the second one, where when someone calls out a hit on someone, they don't like go over the internet and say there's a hit on this guy, $5 million. They all live in this like world of, we don't want to have a digital footprint because we're all assassins. So they all have flip phones. And when someone calls in a hit, it goes to this like 1950s style switchboard call center, and someone hand types up like the hit, and hands it into a lady, and they text message on the flip phones to all the assassins like, here's this hit going out.
Jesus Christ.
Because like, no, that even Morpheus, literally
yeah.
makes this whole comment about like he has a whole network of homeless people.
Okay, we
That's
can't
his thing.
explain all of John Wick. This is
Well,
not,
I'm just saying,
So,
you would love it because they
yeah,
take the
I
technology
gotcha.
out
All
of
right,
it, right?
But
So,
I mean, Raph.
I'm sorry, I got excited.
Yeah,
I watched
yeah.
a bunch of John Wick.
I'm just gonna tell you the entire plot
Yeah,
of every
yeah.
single John Wick movie, so everybody strap.
You're gonna
the
watch
fuck
it anyway,
In,
fuck
right?
you.
Strap the fuck up. All right.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Strap
that's so
in and
funny.
strap up.
Oh my god,
all right.
Raph. What else have you got for us this week?
What else I got? I got my physical copy of Sea of Stars. It came in.
Fuck,
Yeah.
nice.
I didn't come in. Fuck you.
I got it yesterday. I went to Best Buy. I didn't get it shipped. I went to Best Buy and I picked it
Oh.
up. Yeah, I got it like in person.
Mine's gonna
I
have
was-
more cool shit.
Yeah, it probably will. This one came with some. I mean, one cool thing. It's like this little poster.
Cool.
Kind of want to maybe put it up somewhere, but like, yeah, it's got like this double-sided poster.
Oh, damn.
Double-sided because it's night and day. Yup.
Yeah,
Oh,
right,
shit.
Gotta
I
be
see.
Solstice Warriors.
Very cool. Very cool. But I'm excited because I think I had read somewhere that on May 21st, a bunch of games that were on PSN, some good ones, are leaving.
Shocker.
Really?
I know, right? And I think this
'Cause
was
you
one
don't
of them,
own
and
them.
that's what I was playing it on the PSN. So now I have my physical copy, so I can actually finish it at my leisure.
Oh, then you have to fucking restart it though. That's
I do, but that's fine. It's a good enough game, and
Yeah.
I honestly really enjoy playing through the beginning part of it anyway. So
Good for you, man. Because when my PS1 memory card died like 6 hours into Final Fantasy VII, the first time I played it, I wanted to jump out of my bedroom window.
That's really funny. Oh, shit. Well, you'll be enjoying that shit. But for now, that's the end of our show. We'll end on that one. Thank you so much for listening to our gushing of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Make sure to go check us out on Instagram and check us out on YouTube. If you're just listening to us, we've got a cool YouTube channel where I make cute little shorts. So I'll edit up the footage from our live recording here and put little goofy clips and shit in there. Last week I made fun of Buck stumbling over the word "we." It's pretty fun. It's funny to watch.
It was on purpose, but on accident.
We know. And secondly, I wanted to open the floodgates here, and I wanted to say, if you would like to reach out to us with comments or maybe a suggestion for an episode, or maybe you are a graphic designer and you want to make us a logo for free for fun, you can email us at gametreasurepodcast@gmail.com. And you can find all the rest of our shit at our linktree/the GTP. Thank you. Join us next week. We'll be doing the Tales from the Arcade. We're going to be talking about some of our favorite arcade games, talking about, more importantly, some of our favorite arcade game memories. Hopefully, Mr. Venacor will be back because we're going to be having lots of fun with that one. We want to thank Crunkwitch for the use of our theme song, Clash of the Droids. You can find them on Spotify, Apple Music, and on tour this summer with MC Chris. That's right, MC P Pants. And of course, we'd like to thank RetroGameTreasure.com, owned and operated by the Megabuck. Retro Game Treasure is a subscription service that sends collectors bespoke boxes of video games every month. Bespoke? That's right. They're handcrafted for you. For me? That's right. For you. Simply make your profile at www.retrogametreasure.com and you'll receive games tailored to fill out your collection. How is that possible? Go find out. If you don't fucking believe me, you fucking hater, okay? Why don't you fucking go and find the fuck out what I'm fucking saying?
Because we're smart.
RetroGameTreasure.com, obsessed with video games since 1985. Hit me with the new subscribers, Buck.
Okie dokie. I mean, Casey Jones here with the new subscribers. Luis Sanchez, Cody Rogers, Michael Bryant, Joseph Maurice, Jennifer Fisher, Marcus Criswell, James Newell, Justin Young, Nikita Newell, and Jacob Lindy.
My name is Max Stein, and I love the Game Treasure podcast. It's so bad.
It's so bad.